Now again with adding fractions with different denominators. And last time we learned how to add fractions that has the same denominator. As you can see here, 8 is the same denominator, they're the same, and we just add the numerators up there together and we get the answer. It was easy, okay? But this time we have different denominators for the fractions. Here's a diagram to answer this, which represent each fraction. If we added 1 over 4 plus 1 over 2, the answer would be 3 over 4. 3 over 4. How did we get this? How do we get this without using a diagram? Well, here's the method. We can also add these fractions without using diagrams by doing this first step. We need to make it easy. How? By uniting the denominators. That means finding the same or common denominator. Now you have seen me do that before, you have done it yourself and you know what to do just to answer this fraction. Now we've got two denominators here, 4 and 2, and the common denominator is going to be 4. To add them together, we multiply 2 denominator here by 2, we get a 4, and we multiply 1 by 2, we get 2. So now we have a same denominator, we just add the numerators together. Now this is the same answer as we showed in the diagram earlier. You don't have to use a diagram, okay? You can make a common denominator instead, and this is what makes it easier to answer. Let's do a couple more now from the book and practice, but this time it needs a bit more thinking in each of these exercises. Now to start again with extra exercises on adding and subtracting fractions that has exactly the same denominator. Easy, a piece of cake. Just walk through this page and practice it at home. But one thing I just wanted to mention is that when you simplify, sometimes you need to convert to a mixed number because we have improper fraction, as we can see here. As long as we have improper fraction, we must convert it into a mixed number. How do we do that? I showed you earlier, but I can tell you again how to do it. First of all, how many 6 are there in 10? We have only 1, so we just put 1, okay, as a whole number. Now let's subtract 10 out of 6. We have 4. This is the remainder, our new numerator, and then the same denominator would be the same denominator here. Then we simplify 4 and 6 by a common factor of 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. So 1 and 2 over 3. Okay, this is how you do it. Now heading forward to understand how we can subtract and add fractions with different denominators. Okay, first of all, let's have this example, 3 over 4 plus 1 over 3. We need to find a common denominator here, and the common denominator between 4 and 3 is 12. How do we find it? First of all, we multiply this fraction by 4, so we can get 12 here. 4 multiplied by 3 is 12, and 4 multiplied by 1 is 4. Then we multiply 4 by a number that gets 12. 3 multiplied by 4 is 12. 3 multiplied by 3 is 9. The answer is 13 over 12. It's an improper fraction. We need to change it into a mixed number and then, let's say, simplify if possible. This is what we do. How many 12 do we have in 13? We have 1. We add it as a whole number. 13 minus 12 is 1. The denominator is the same. Again, with another example, when it comes to subtracting fractions with different denominators, we have 6 over 7, 3 over 4. Okay, what is the common denominator here, or the common number between 7 and 4? The least common denominator could be 28. How do I do this? You can have another way. Okay, this is sometimes what I do. I just multiply both denominators and put them as the same denominators. That means 7 multiplied by 4 is 28. And then I multiply the numerator of this fraction with the denominator of the other fraction. 3 multiplied by 7, 21. And then we multiply 6 by 4 and we get 24. Okay, this is another way. If you want to do it this way, it's up to you. The answer would be 3 over 28. It's a proper fraction. You don't need to change it into a mixed number. Now have these examples in front of you, practice them and make sure that the answer is correct. Just practice these examples and write them down. You can have the answers and look at the answers. Make sure whenever you come up with an improper fraction, you have to change it or convert it into a mixed number. Now mixed number adding. How do we add mixed numbers? First of all, we have two whole numbers, right? We just add the whole numbers together. For example, 2 and 3 over 4 plus 3 1 over 3 is equal to 5. 5 is what? Is the total numbers of addition between 3 and 2, okay? Then we have to find a common factor again between the 3/4 and 1/3. How do we do that? 12, as we mentioned before. So 3 multiplied by 4 is 12, 12 for both. 3 multiplied by 3 is 9, 4 multiplied by 1 is 4. The answer is 5 plus 13 over 12. Now, how do we actually convert this number into a mixed number? Because the numerator here still is bigger than the denominator. What do we do actually is, we just do the simple way. How many 12 do we have in 13? We have 1. Then we add it to 5, okay? We add it to 5. 13 minus 12 is 1. We put it as the new numerator, and the denominator will stay the same. These are mixed numbers. Try to work them out. These are the answers for this particular or specific example. Try to answer them by yourself. These are new examples. Now, finishing with a great example on how you can calculate fractions and add them together, especially when they have different denominators. Here, as you can see, James and Brian order pizzas. James eats 6/8 of his pizza and Brian only manages to eat 2/7, okay? That means 6 out of 8 slices, 2 out of 7 slices. If we put the leftover, now this is what left over, that means what left here, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for Brian and 1, 2 for James. Out of what? Out of 7, and here James left 2 slices of pizza out of 8. If we add them together, can we make one whole pizza? I don't think so, guys, okay? As you can see, if we find a common denominator here, 7 multiplied by 8 is 56. 56. 8 multiplied by 5 is 40. And 7 multiplied by 2 is 14. We add them together now, we have the same denominator, just numerators together. 14 plus 40 is 54. 54 over 56 or divided by 56 is not 1. That means the answer is no. And that was everything. Now, let's head to questions book, page 157, and I'll give you the answers as well.